The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios, Kansas City, a domain divided. I am the storyteller tonight, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I'll be playing Katarina Rakosi of Clan Zamitsi.
I'm Dale, Callum McFarlane, Clan Veteran.
I'm Ree, and I'll be playing Rashad Giovanni.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Gwen Schultz of the Ministry.
And I'd like to welcome everybody to episode 2 of our new chronicle. And tonight they are actually in Kansas City. Kansas is a very odd city. It's a city divided amongst two states, the Missouri side and the Kansas side. But not just that. It's also divided amongst the kindred, with the Sabbat claiming one part, laying claim to all of the Missouri side, unable to hold it, and the Camarilla claiming, well, everything that the Sabbat can't hold. And this group of kindred, they've been in the city about 3 months now, 3 months of trying to get reestablished, get their businesses up and running, get their havens moved, get connections in place. And while they've presented themselves to the president of the city, president of the Kansas City Homeowners Association, no less, they haven't had a chance to meet him aside from introductions. But tonight that is going to change because the chief inspector of the city, Victoria Pendergast, she has told them she will meet them tonight at some point at their joint coterie holdings to take them to a meeting with the president of the HOA. And so as we open up tonight, they have gathered in a logistics building, awaiting for their Ventru to show up to take them.
The building of Wayfinder Transport is empty. We have, in the process of these few months, cleaned it out. We're still in process of build out, though, for the company. And Katarina's just sitting on some of the furnishings we have in the place already, just sitting on the edge of like a desk or something.
Gwen is
Hello,
probably.
everyone.
Hi.
Hello, Shad.
You all don't seem to be very excited today or this evening.
One of the few nights off I have this week, and I'm having to wait around for our inspector to come pick us up.
This
Been a
is
busy week.
strange.
I heard
I
nothing
have to
either one
thank
of you said.
Welcome to a new stream, everybody.
Because you both talked at the same time, and it's like, what?
Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah, it's just been a busy week getting the restaurant up and running. Everything seems to be working well. Bo has trained his staff well, the ones that came with us, and we're probably ready for a soft opening next week.
Callum, have you heard anything about what happened to the group previous to us?
Only hints, and I haven't asked or delved too deeply yet.
Have you heard anything from Bo?
Not yet.
Hopefully he's doing all right in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I left him a couple of messages. I figure he'll get back to me. I just send him status reports and let him know everything's going fine.
Well, it took some time and some money, but I did get myself and my family employed at the university hospital, and we've been set up there, and it's been busy.
I'm sure they're happy to have you.
Absolutely, they are. But it's just my reputation precedes coming from Chicago, and it's like everybody wants to get on my books.
Not a bad problem to have, though.
It's not, but there's only so many hours that I can do it. So.
Have you considered training another to?
Oh, they have
or-
others. They have other surgeons there that can also do the same procedures. They're actually talking with me about doing some, I guess you could call it tutoring, precepting, that kind of thing with them to polish up any skills that they may need.
Impressive. So far, the law firm is coming nicely. Though there aren't a lot of high-profile people in Kansas City, but from what's the phrase? From small seeds, big things come, or what have you.
I always heard good things come in small packages.
Both are
That's
true.
better.
I'm sure the law firm will do great, even if it is starting small.
How are you doing, Gwen?
I'm all right. I haven't really set the foundation too much for my business, more listening around, trying to get a grasp on what's going on here, since none of us really know. That'll come, though. The more you meet, the more you hear, which helps with an information security business. So it'll be fine.
Have you learned anything? Any rumors?
Has Quinn?
Not yet.
Okay. No, unfortunately not. It's still pretty tight-lipped to a newcomer, especially one of my clan. We're not really known for being helpful.
Yeah, don't
so to
look
speak.
at me to being invited to social events amongst our society, okay?
They'll warm up, though, I'm sure of it. To both of us.
Yeah.
Out front, you hear a horn beep.
Really?
Well, I guess it's time to begin.
People don't knock on
Gotta head out.
doors.
To be fair, Kat, if she knocked on this door, it might fall down.
Well, besides the point. Jesus.
I'll step up to the door and open it for everyone.
When you open the
Shall
door,
we?
out front with the lights on idling is a black Lincoln. As you open the door, the window rolls down and woman looks out at you. She's a brunette, long brown hair. You've seen her before with it pulled up in a bun, but not tonight. In many cities, she would be called the sheriff, but not in this city. In this city, she goes by the inspector or chief inspector. Good to see you all. If you can hop in, we have a trip to take.
I'll head over to the car.
Get in the car.
I'm sure if someone wants to ride up front with me, they can. The rest can fit in the back, unless you really want to pack it in back there. I doubt it.
Gwen will ride in the front. How are you this evening, Inspector?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Security's always a concern, unfortunately, which is why we had to go through these lengths. You know, the HOA president makes a tempting target. So we try not to make it easy to find him. But I'm curious to hear how you all have been doing. I haven't had a chance to check up on you lately. I've been busy with events on the northern part of the city. How are you all doing? You finding it okay settling in?
Just fine. Been busy, but things are starting to settle.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Callum, I heard you got your restaurant opened.
We did. Soft opening coming up. Just a point of information for you. I've set aside Tuesdays just in case the board should need a place for meetings.
I will make sure that the committee knows that. I'm sure they may take you up on it at some point. One of the big points that they like to use is varying where they meet. We're in a war footing, so it's all about not setting a predictable pattern. Though I'll be fair, they don't seem to meet that often. Unlike more traditional setups, they don't need to. They each have their areas of responsibility, and because they have that, they rarely have to interact unless there's a conflict.
Well, the building is secure. It's been well maintained, more than I can say than the spot that I chose for my haven. People don't respect older things anymore as they should.
The younger generation has that problem, though they do bring a certain amount of zest to things.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
So while I have you here, how am I going to explain this? How much do you know of our prince?
Malkavian, so the box doesn't even exist for him to think outside of?
That's pretty accurate. He is progressive for a prince in these nights, but also I have some advice for you. He gives what he's given. So he's very easy and pleasant to work with as long as you're being easy and pleasant working with him. Don't mistake that for weakness. He responds to challenges.
That's incredible adaptability.
That's how he survived so long, honestly. If you come to him arguing from a position of strength, he will argue back from his position of strength. If you come to him contrite, he will be contrite as well. I suspect it has something to do with his blood that makes him that way.
I can respect that, though.
It's not a bad trait to have either, necessarily.
Not in these nights, it's not. His adaptability makes him good at what he does, as is, he has such unique views on how to run a city. my suggestion, I would suggest you just call him Manuel. If it was a formal court event, it might be different. But in this case, and you'll see when we get there, it's best not to use any titles at all.
Does the rest of the committee have the same opinion with their titles?
I'd like to say they do, but most still prefer to be referred to as counselor.
Understood.
I'm not nearly as stuffy. The only time you should be calling me inspector is when you fucked up.
I will say, though, Merrick was really down to earth.
Well, he is. You'll find that Manuel seems to pick people with a like mind, mostly. So you'll see a lot less of the backstabbing you'll see in other cities. We honestly don't have time for that right now.
No, you're on the verge of a massive war.
Well, we're in a massive war.
Has it escalated?
Well, they're contesting the northern industrial section of the city.
Oh.
It's a slow process. Taking over sections aren't easy.
Takes manpower for that.
And time.
And time, yes.
That might be
Ms.
part of
Pendergrass?
Excuse me, yes.
How does Manuel's leadership style mesh with the traditions? What can we expect?
He follows the traditions. This is his domain. He is the one who holds the right of destruction. Of course, I have authority as well. But you'll find he's not a tyrant. He doesn't take a heavy hand. He trusts his people to know what's right and what to do. But you cross the line, you'll find once again, there is a spine of steel in there. He's willing to do what has to be done to win. I guess the best way to put it, as long as you are following the rules, you have nothing to fear. And while some rules, such as the Masquerade, are very important, his opinions when it comes to destruction are less than what some cities have. The Sabbat, aside from a few exceptions, don't really get the protections bestowed upon those who are members of the tower.
Excellent.
Do you or does he prefer captured Sabbat over ashes?
That is a matter of who it is. The average shovelhead is of no use for information. But we're in a war and information is key. The right ones, very useful to extract info from. The wrong ones is a waste of time. Where that line is to be drawn, I can't tell you. That's something you have to make in the moment. And it's not like we don't understand. In the moment you make a decision, and second guessing those decisions aren't really fair to those that had to make them at the time. It's very easy to backseat quarterback decisions people make. Both myself and Manuel try not to do that. I know coming from Chicago, it's going to be hard for you to adjust to the laid-back style of leadership we have here. But it's worked so far. We've held longer than we should have, considering the depths to which these Sabbat members will go in order to achieve goals.
Oh, indeed. The ones here are the smart ones. They didn't go east. Or if they went east, they survived it. So they were smart to survive it and come back. Yeah.
I'm sure Manuel will tell you information on that.
Good. I may have information to share with him.
I let him decide what he needs to share. Operational security is a rather big deal right now in this city. I know you're new to this city. I'd be a fool if I trusted you completely, as would he.
Of course.
Hence, to meet with him, you're riding with me. In time, I'm sure, once you've proven you're trustworthy, it'll be a lot easier. A lot less of me on a dark night honking in front of your building. I prefer to keep the honking in front of buildings to, well, when I'm about to do some unpleasantness. So as you're riding with her, she's actually moved on to Interstate 70 right now, heading east in the city towards, or further towards the Sabat-controlled areas. But as she gets off the interstate there, she enters a section of town that's a little bit more run down. But there on Wabash Street, she takes you to, it's a building marked the City Union Mission. She pulls up in front of the mission. Just hop out, go inside. He'll be at the serving line. I'll be waiting outside and keeping watch.
Cat'll get out.
Thanks for the ride, Victoria.
Well, thanks for the conversation.
Thank you.
And as you get out and head up, it's busy. And this particular mission is a family shelter. It's a shelter that is aimed mainly towards providing a place for the unhoused as families, a place to stay. And as you walk into the main area, it's obviously the dining hall tonight because there's a serving line in the back.
I'm going to rouse for Blush of Life.
Okay, go ahead. Some of you have high enough humanity, you actually don't have to rouse as much.
Yeah, at a Humanity 7, I do. I get a little hungry.
I'm not going to comment with your beast on this one yet. I'm save it. And as you all step in, you've seen the prince before. You recognize him. Hispanic man. His hair's black, cut close. He's got maybe a week's worth of stubble on his chin. Friendly face, though. And as he sees you walk in, he just motions you over. But he keeps doing what he's doing, which is serving people in the serving line.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all approach, he looks you up and down, and he looks down to the people beside him. Go on, take a break. If you all would please assist.
Absolutely. And if any need medical attention, let me know. I'm happy to see to them while I'm here.
Perfect.
And
we will talk after we're done serving.
Mm-hmm. And she gets in the line and starts serving people.
So you all are helping serve
mm-hmm.
the homeless that have come here, the families that are in pretty dire straits.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems Manuel knows a lot of these people. He greets a number of them by name. Hey, Joe, how's the family doing? Hey, Socks, how you doing? How's the little ones? And as you're watching through this line, he has a kind word for almost everyone that comes up to it. Seems to be well liked by a number of the people here. He's obviously done this more than once. And he has you sit there and help him serve the families for about a half hour. If you'd follow me, we'll go step into a back room to talk. And he makes a hand, and the people that went off on break for 30 minutes come out and take over the line again. I'll be back in a little bit. You just keep going. I'll come and help out when we're done. And if you finish before I'm done, I'll help clean up. And he turns, follow me, and he takes you back deeper into the building, past a number of private rooms, some dorm rooms, mass housing. There's not a lot of space. They have to make good what they can. He takes you back to an empty office. And when I say empty, all it's got is a desk in it. And he just plops down on the desk, sitting on it. Doesn't sit behind it, sits on the desk. I'm glad to see you've come to see me tonight. How are you finding our city?
Very comfortable so far. I appreciate the hospitality.
Indeed.
Been deceptively sorry.
Everything's been running very smoothly for getting set up.
It's been deceptively quiet for a city of its size.
Mm.
And given what we know.
It's good you weren't here 3 months ago. It was just over 3 months ago. It was decidedly less quiet. I wanted to meet with y'all just to, as they would call it, touch base. Let you know a few of the things that I'm sure you haven't found out yet. I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't start this off with your domain. I granted you that domain for a reason. The previous group that was given that domain failed to secure it. And they paid for that failure with their lives. And not by me. They were wiped out at the start of this war. I'm hoping you all will do better. Come now. What do you have to say that I've put you in a domain where the others have fallen?
Well, at least one of us has some experience with this warfare.
I don't do it out of maliciousness, actually. I do it for a purpose. You're coming from Chicago, which, I'll be fair, the politics are complicated there. You'll find the politics here are much simpler. But the fight for survival is twice as tough here. If you all survive and hold your domain, that tells me you're worthy to put in a better domain, closer to the front. For now, you're untested. You're not battle-hardened yet. So I would prefer to put you a little further back until that time. I don't want to needlessly cast you aside by putting you right on the front line. In case you're not aware, Victoria holds the college, community college area between you and the Sabbat. It was a change we made shortly after the other group was destroyed as a buffer. The hope is that they'll target her, given her high profile and what she is. She is more than capable of holding hers. So don't think I'm putting you in your domain to fail. You're not. I'm putting you in your domain hoping you succeed so that you'll be an asset to the city and can be moved to appropriately valuable real estate.
We appreciate the consideration and the time to gather intelligence, get our feet under us.
So you're aware they hold pretty much West Blue Valley and east of that line. That is Sabbat-controlled territory. Any attempts to move into that territory are ill-advised, and it is extremely dangerous. That's not to say you can't do it. It's done from time to time. But be aware where you're going. And at this time, the northern, along the river, the industrial center up there. That is where the current heavy fighting is. Nightly skirmishes. They're trying to muscle in, lean on the businesses, get the businesses to go their way, not ours. Trying to scare off people, ruin the property values. I suspect it's because of the river. Even in these nights, it's a very handy way to get stuff in and out of the city. That's why we're fighting them for it.
Well, as members of an HOA, we cannot allow property values to fall.
Oh, that is correct.
It is brilliant, Manuel, but hilarious. Okay, nobody likes an HOA.
I felt it appropriate. You're right. No one likes the HOA, not even the HOA itself.
No.
I would not be president of this HOA if there was someone else who could do it. But as it stands now, everyone looked to me because I'd been here the longest and I'd survived the longest, so it was left to me to do it. It took a while for people to adjust to my unorthodox method of leadership.
Yeah. Trying something new can't be any worse than doing the same thing over and over and failing.
That is true. And so you're aware, when it comes to the Elysia, I have just recently brokered a deal with the Sabbat. If you are going to or from Elysia, you are to wear a red armband. Anyone wearing a red armband in transit to Elysia is safe. That also means they have to be able to see the red armband, and you have to be able to see theirs, so it can be difficult to travel by vehicle sometimes. But we have agreed that Elysia will be safe ground for both sides of the war. Neutral negotiation places. I know the game they're playing, but...
I'm glad you do. If I can ever be of service, know that I was a field surgeon as a ghoul in New York during the Sect War.
Unfortunately, this group, I don't like to leave wounded behind, of any kind.
I get that. I'm not offering my services as a field surgeon. I'm offering insights into how they play at war.
I know a lot, but I will, if I need assistance, I will see what your opinion is to compare to my own experiences.
Of course. Certain things will be varied by region, but comparing notes never hurts.
That it does not. For the short term, I want you all to get settled, make sure you're settled. But it won't be long before I need you to participate directly. If we are skirmishing in the docks area, having eyes there, I don't know how combat capable you are. I have others that can do that, but this is a war of info as much as fighting.
Indeed.
It's a war of leverage.
If I may ask one favor.
Yes.
If any of your assets or connections hear anything about a Rurik Rakosi, let me know.
I will let you know if I hear that. Your opposition, the one that we know of, she goes by the name of Becky. Her face changes, but she loves the blonde hair most of the time. And as many that have decided to dabble with body modification, she's very vain about hers. She is the local bishop and appears to be the one taking point. We don't know who else is with her other than her. I'm sure there's more than one bishop. There's got to be by the numbers they have. But she is the one who is directly interacted. She is the one who's opened the negotiation, and she is the one who wiped out the previous group that occupied your domain.
Personally? Or did she have others do it?
Her with her friends.
Hmm.
My advice on that one, because you can't tell what she'll look like, beware of blondes bearing gifts.
Advice taken.
Let's see. Do you have any questions for me?
Not really questions so much as once we get the restaurant open, I intend on setting up our information gathering operation again along the same lines as we had in Chicago. And when I do that, we can arrange how you'd like to receive that information.
I'm sure I'll have somebody contact you. If nothing else, one of Victoria's people. You'll find she has extensive assets. Most of them I don't even know. Again, we go back to operational security here. You'll see we have a lot of layers of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a war. I don't like it. I've seen enough of it. But I don't mean I'm going to give up. I don't mean I'm going to let them win. It's that simple. Any other things you'd like to know about? I'll give you a number that you can call if you need to reach any of the counselors, or if you need to reach the treasurer or the vice president of the board.
Will we learn who the community managers and investigator is soon?
I doubt you'll ever know all the investigators. They will reveal themselves when it's time. Victoria, the biggest thing she brings to her table is her network of unseen and unknown investigators.
Operational security.
Many I've talked to more than once look different each time I've spoken to them. Although I know it's the same person. You can tell when you look at them with certain sight that they match who they were.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you're good enough. It's one of the knacks I have.
Huh.
I'm not very good with emotions. I'm not good with emotional state. Not through the aura around people. But I can identify whether your aura matches someone else's I've seen. I found it quite handy in this city.
I bet it would be, especially with dragons about, or fiends as they like to call themselves.
I haven't heard the word dragon used for them. They're monsters. Most of what they have is the normal groups. Heavy, Ingangrel,
Yeah.
Bruja,
Yeah.
Samitsi leadership.
Heavy hitters.
They don't seem to embrace a lot of social. That's their leadership that handles that. The behind the scenes, the thinkers, the plotters, the planners.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to embrace brute force. Though, Rashad, I will tell you, there's at least one of the clan of death with them.
Do you know what this person looks like?
No, and the only reason I know they have it is the previous group that held your domain had a member of the clan of death with them. And before they were destroyed, they reported that she used wards that blocked his spirits from scouting out an ambush. And That tells me it's most likely one of the Clan of Death doing it. Takes knowledge of the spirits. I know Tremere can do it. That's normally not their focus. It's normally Clans of Death that do it. One other warning while I'm thinking of it. Beware the Nosferatu in this city. They are untrustworthy sewer rats, unfortunately. They've declared neutrality, though their version of neutrality and my version of neutrality are a bit different. The little bastards have been selling everything they can to everybody.
Yeah, that's not neutral.
Yes, well, one problem at a time, right?
Exactly.
And you would classify all of them this way?
Officially, yes. There are a few that I've talked to that seem to have different of opinion than the rest of them, but then it goes back to trust. Do you trust them? I have trouble trusting any Nosferatu to put, well, the well-being of this city over the well-being of their clan.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones who claim otherwise. I find it hard to trust that. What can I do? I work with what I have, right?
Resources are resources.
That's right. And once they pick a side, we'll handle that bridge when it comes to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't?
Oh,
they will eventually.
They have to eventually.
It's the Nos way. They play all sides until they figure out who's going to win, and then they side with that side.
And make no mistake, if they pick the wrong side, I will bury their asses under the city. I will bury them like I've buried many before me. I am progressive. I am relaxed.
I love it.
There are times when the VP tells me I lose my cool. I think that was her exact words. And well, you're losing your cool. Get your cool back. Come on, grab your cool. Wasn't my fault. They started yelling at me first. I just happened to yell louder. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you're not used to someone like me.
I love it that you're so candid.
It's quite the breath of fresh
It
air,
is.
especially that you'll also give us a chance. Not something you see.
Politics, the way Chicago runs it, the way I've heard New York, Atlanta, LA, this isn't the place for that. That kind of stuff will leave us fractured, will leave us fighting each other, watching our own backs from each other, while the enemy sweeps in and wipes us out. That's not how we win. We can worry about the resuming the normal backstabbing and politicking when the city's ours. Because I would be a fool to think it won't come back and it wouldn't be that way. But while we have the enemy, while we have someone aiming for our destruction, it's not in our interest to do that. We should work together, common goal. I'm sure by the time we win, I'll be able to step down and whoever takes over can resume the bickering as usual. Without me. My legacy will have been secured, and most importantly, the city will be safe. And that's what matters. I've been here a very long time, longer than I think any of you would realize. And I don't want to see bad things come of this place. I've invested a lot of time and energy here.
I can respect that.
I know I'm looking forward to establishing a good working relationship.
Oh, I'm sure we will have a great working relationship. You all seem a little hungry. Trust me, I heard what went down in Chicago. You won't get that kind of treatment here. Just because we don't have community managers yet, at least none official, you can bet Soda has told me more than enough. Soda still.
Are there any messages you'd like me to deliver to the rest of my family?
At this time, not really. I would always like to see more of the Clan of Death. I'd like to see more of all the clans here. The more that come here, the better our position. But since we're being fairly blunt here, most of your clan are not big on risk-taking right now. Not after your consolidation and the family reunion. And I know quite a bit about that as well. They're not ready to take the risks. And I understand it, and I won't hold that against them. But let them know when the Clan of Death is ready to stand here with Kansas City, they are welcome as well. As are Zemitzi and the Ministry
I'm
and the Venture.
afraid not many of Zemitzi retain their right minds after Embrace.
There's another in the city that is on our side.
Really?
Yes.
Fascinating.
You can thank Christabella for that.
Hmm.
Christabella convinced an old friend of hers to come. Since she is the counselor of the fold to bring these people in,
Yeah.
who would I be to question it? Her domain is quite public. She has made it a point to tell the Sabbat where her domain is, near the rack,
For those who want to defect.
and an open challenge.
And yeah.
As a member of Clan La Sombra, she is...
Oh, she's La Sombra.
Yes,
That's all you got to say.
she is exacting about if you wish to challenge her, if you're going to take a cut at the king, you better cut him deep. I think she's a little old-fashioned with that statement. We have no kings here. That's not how this works. But I understand her sentiment. She is one of the key people right now who's been working in the industrial area to the north. Unfortunately, I haven't found anyone yet to be the Counselor of War. The days of the warlords are long gone, unfortunately. I don't think the tower really understands how to cultivate warlords anymore. It's a shame. We could use them. But I've taken enough of your time. I have to get back out on the line.
Do any of your people need assistance?
Oh, no. We've got people to take care of that already.
Okay.
But I'll keep you in mind in the future. May ask you at some point to volunteer some time here. The ones who suffer in wars like this are not us.
No.
We may be destroyed, but we don't suffer.
It's the living that do.
Right. It is the ones who are already in poor economic straits. It is the ones who are already the dregs of society by others. They're the ones who are cast off, looked down on. They suffer the most. And they're the ones who need the most help.
Agreed.
So I help them as I can. As much as our kind can, considering what we are, unfortunately. Even I would be lying if I said it's all out of altruism. Unfortunately, we are what we are, aren't we?
We are. But they get help.
And they get all the help I can.
Mm-hmm.
At least our actions aren't as detrimental as some others in the city.
That's true. Well, if you'll follow me back out.
Thank you for your time, Manuel.
No problem at all. It was good to meet you all and give you a rough understanding of things going on. And as he opens the door and steps out, he goes right back to the serving line. And they're not done yet. It's a busy night. I'd have you all help me, but if I did that, Victoria would probably have my skin because she's got other things to do. And while she's waiting in the car, she can't do it.
She should get in here and help too.
She does some nights. Some nights.
Well, if you ever have the need for volunteers, feel free to lean on the restaurant.
Well, since you have a restaurant, I'm sure I will talk to you at some point, possibly maybe Thanksgiving dinner for a number of the individuals who are not well off. I will make sure your restaurant is properly compensated for it. Of course, that would be considered a charity donation from your company.
Absolutely.
We have a 501c that can be used for tax purposes.
Very well. And as I let Victoria know, Tuesdays are set aside for the committee. Or if you can pass that information along to Miss Fleming.
I can make that. And he pulls out a stack of business cards and hands one to each of you. And the phone number on it is actually for this mission. But it's actually for the 501c that holds it.
Mm-hmm.
You call and just, if you have a message for me, leave a message for Manuel. If you're looking for someone from the committee, just ask about the counselor. The ones who answer the phone for this particular number are all safe.
Excellent.
They're all my people or Tanya's people.
Thank you. And she takes the card and puts it in.
It's nice meeting you. Thomas, get over here. You didn't get enough food on your plate. Get back over here. You need to eat better than that. And he goes right back to serving as you all head out. And when you go out, she's sitting on the hood of her car, propped against it. And she's talking to a man. He's a younger guy. He definitely looks like he fits here. Definitely of the impoverished social class. And she talks to him a bit. But as you approach, she nods to him and he nods back and starts walking down the street. Give me wits awareness, please. Or you can go wits insight. That's a good one. Wits streetwise is a good one.
Investigation.
Sure.
With deduction specialty.
Sure. I'll let you have that too. I see Katarina's off to a great start. Wow, Gwen. Jesus. Okay, Katarina's got a 1.
Willpowering. Hold on.
Rashad's looking at 2. Gwen's got 7. Wait a minute. Nope. 9, because you didn't have enough to get an extra crit out of all that. 9 for Gwen. Gwen, the way this guy is moving as he walks away, if there was a crowd of people, you'd never be able to pick him out in it. The way he carries himself, you've seen before. The man is a natural chameleon in any kind of gathering. It's just his whole body posture and the way he walks. I hope your meeting with Manuel was good. Please hop in the car. I'll take you back. And she doesn't get the doors for everybody. She just opens her door and hops down in her seat.
We get in.
So, what'd you think of Manuel?
He is very well informed.
He is. I've tried my best to find out information on him. He knows
Seems like
a lot
he's
of
done
stuff.
this.
I don't know how. I suspect he's tied into that network that his clan has built up. He can sense what others. And let me tell you this, I know for a fact his clan have a number of people in this city that aren't acknowledged officially. But that's not my problem. As long as no one's causing trouble, we don't require that at this time. So, a man without a past, but seems to be trying to do a lot of good.
Well, he said it himself. His leadership style is unorthodox. And I'm intrigued to see what opportunities that could bring for us.
This is the kind of place where if you're willing to put the effort in, willing to take the risk, there's a lot of opportunities. Those that are hesitant aren't risk takers. They don't seem to get as far. But like everything, it's a knife's edge when you play with risk. You're always on that edge. Go too far, you'll get cut. The last group that held your domain. I'm sure he told you what happened to him.
Yes, that they failed to secure their domain and got ended.
That's correct.
What do you know about that event?
The war started in their territory.
Which is now our territory.
Which is now yours. Becky chose them and laid claim to the Missouri side of the line, which, as you'll notice, your domain is very close to that. Now, they laid claim to it, but when we pushed back, we found they couldn't hold it. We shoved them quite a bit further back with what we had.
So despite embracing a crap ton of shovel heads, they didn't really have the numbers to hold it.
Well, of course not.
Got it.
Shovel heads are great shock troops, but they're not very skilled.
No, they're not.
And until you get a chance to learn your powers.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there were some here in the city that taught them to be more cautious rather than throwing shovel heads. Christabella was one of them.
Good. I'll have to arrange a meeting with her at some point.
Whatever you do not make a comment about her last name being Black. She is understandably touchy about her clan being La Sombra and her last name being Black. She thinks it was a horrible joke played on her at some point. I asked her why she didn't change it. She said, but that's my name.
Don't try to figure out La Sombra. Trust me, everything is in the root of their egos are a piece of work. Okay.
She has a well-earned ego.
I'm not saying they don't earn it or it's not, legitimate, but it's still a piece of work.
If not for the difficulties of trying to entice unaligned individuals to join us, I'm sure she would make a very excellent counselor of war. But she can't divide her attentions. Right now, she really needs to focus on siphoning what strength she can from the other side.
Absolutely.
Or convincing the anarchs to get off their lazy asses and participate in useful ways. Because if we fall, the anarchs are next. The Sabbat won't stop at the Missouri line.
The anarchs will just be a speed bump.
They hide in the Kansas City side. Saying it's not their problem right now.
Anything like the ones in Chicago, they will legitimately only be a speed bump.
They've told us that this is not their problem. It's our problem because all they care about is their blocks that they've claimed.
I'm sorry. I find them absolutely comical. Yeah.
What good is a block to claim it if you can't do anything with it?
If you can't do anything with it, yeah. Let me whip my block out. I'm sorry.
But I'm sure you'll find it's not a bad place to be. It's dangerous.
Has a lot of potential.
I would expect there to be probes at your domain.
Good.
But I don't expect any major war packs to come through. I'm too tempting of a target.
Maybe.
I've made a point to become a target.
Good.
I have set a pattern in my domain. A very public pattern. I'm waiting for them to try.
You are very confident.
I survive. That's what my clan does. We survive. I know my domain well enough now that they won't pin me long enough to kill me. And every strike they do reveals more about their capabilities. Every little attack they make is more intelligence, more information, stuff we can use against them. If I have to be bait once in a while to do it, It's a war. I'll be bait. It's a nice bit of domain to own. Ample feeding.
Speaking of that, intelligence, was there any security footage, video, audio of how they brought the previous coterie down?
I will look and see if we have any of it.
It would help us shore up things.
I wanted to ask a question on it too, actually.
Go ahead.
Was there something strategic you think they saw in it, or just a weak point?
Honestly, I think it was a message to us. The ones they started the war against, the ones that they used to initially negotiate, they destroyed them to show they could. And that once they had opened up negotiation with us, they didn't need them anymore.
So it's just wrong place, wrong time?
No, they were just not useful anymore to them.
Yeah, it was a tool that they had used already.
And the only use they had was as a message of what they are capable of.
The circumstances of that group's death, like I said, I'll pull video to see if we can find any. But what we found was not in the building you were in one of the other buildings. We just found their clothes and ashes. No sign of forced entry. No sign of a real fight. Our best guess was they came up through the floor using earth melt.
Is there any chance that they could have defected and that it was just a ploy to make it look like they died?
Oh, that's always a chance. And if we find out that's what they did, well, they'll find Manuel is not a soft prince when he has to be. He is very much a velvet glove wrapped around a steel gauntlet kind of prince. Very nice to talk to hold his hand, shake hands with him until he punches you. If we find out they switch sides, they will not last.
He mentioned a member of the Clan of Death on the other side. Do you know anything about that?
No, it's only suspicion for us. There was another Clan of Death in this city before. It was in that group that got wiped out. There was a number of places in the Sabbat-controlled area that their spirits couldn't go, were warded and blocked against, were forced out by other spirits, were disappeared even from their territory. The only way that could happen is if another member of the Clan of Death is using the spirits to keep their territory secure. At least that is my guess. I'm not well versed in how it all works. But that was the guess of the previous Hakata as well. Because their spirits were being destroyed, disappearing. It had to be someone opposing them directly. I hope I'm not frightening you with these stories.
Not at all.
They're teaching us lessons.
I'm trying to
Stay
give you the
useful.
info you need to survive. It is my hope you'll survive. And we need bodies that can survive a while here. Fortunately, the new ones don't tend to last very long sometimes. Comes and goes in spurts. The young ones get caught up. I think they can do more than they can, get caught by the wrong patrol at the wrong time, get wiped out. Not normally a group the size of yours. Ones and twos. Be careful if you go on the eastern part of the city in small groups. I would advise even the rack is not safe for a lone kindred.
Really?
And not for a lone kindred, no.
Huh.
We're trying to fix that. But you understand,
Yeah, I
it's hard.
understand.
This group of Sabbat seem to have adapted in a lot of ways. They're more prone to be using mortal pawns than they were in the past. In the past, mortals were for fodder, destruction, throwaways. They seem to be a lot more canny about using the ones that seem useful to them without throwing them away. Miss Becky's a problem child for sure. The other night, Tanya called her Becky with the good hair. With a bad attitude.
Easy enough to pull off.
Good hair, bad attitude. Oh, wait till you meet Tanya. She's interesting.
It seems like a lot are interesting here.
No. You've got to be something special for I hate to use the term, for a Sinshaw to be Kaitif. I know it's hard to, I know it's supposed to call her VP. It's hard to break those terms. I'm used to different things. I came up here from New Orleans. This was my family's legacy is this city. I'd lived down there for a while, but when I heard it was time to come back and reclaim the city, the Pendergasses have been here for a while. Our name is part of this history. So I felt I had a duty to come back and do what I had to do. But a Kaitif in that kind of position, yeah, you can bet she's special. She's just as shrewd as Manuel.
She'd have to be.
She's also his handler.
Oh. He kind of hinted to that. He kind of hinted, what was it? He said that she tells him he lost his cool, so he needs to get his cool back.
You're going to find our princes. Manuel is. We have to be very careful with what's around him to ensure that he keeps his cool.
Kat will look her through the rearview mirror directly in her eyes and say, "Thank you for your trust."
It's in your best interest. I come in to see him with the wrong attitude, with aggression, with anger, with fire in your blood. You'll respond in kind. And I've seen him angry. I'm battle hardened and I don't want to see him angry again. He's a good man at heart, but we all have that monster in us. And he's gotten very good at harnessing it to his advantage. I saw a Sabbat delegation threatening him, and he turned them all mad. Every single one of them. By the time he was done speaking to them and yelling back at them, they were turning on each other. One was in a corner beating his head against the wall. His abilities when he gets angry to corrupt the mind and to twist the mind are unequaled. It's his knack, as he calls it. Something he's been good at before he was made one of us, he said. He's always had the silver tongue ability, as he put it. I suspect his parents were religious leaders at some point, based on other things I've heard him say. I'm letting you know, not out of trust, because I want you to survive.
Oh, I understand that, but thank you for trusting. Well, me to go in and meet with him.
The first meeting with him is always a test. For everyone. Only one has come out of it so far injured. Only one. He felt that because he's Malkavian, they could speak to him as a low clan member because they were higher than him. Not in his city, they're not. And that is the biggest mistake people make. They mistake his kindness and his cool, as Tanya would say, for weakness. It's not a mistake you'll make more than once. That man has lived through the height of the Sabbat holding this city. Camarilla loyal the whole time. They tried to root him out. They tried to kill him. They tried recruiting him, tried negotiating with him. And he was here the whole time. If I was a betting woman, which I'm not, I'd put my money on him, no. I'd almost say he's Ventru by the way he's a survivor.
No, he's old.
He is old for sure. And
Are
I
there
know
any
he's old.
others in the city who are as old as him?
Oh, I'm sure there is. A reason I know he's old. He once mentioned that I look like my great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
He's old enough.
Yeah. For that to be a recent, a recalled memory. That's old.
I don't think he's much older than that, but I would give him a few centuries.
Mm-mm-mm.
And he's been in Kansas City that whole time?
As far as I can tell, yes.
It seems like it, the way he's beholden to it.
He loves his city.
Done quite the job staying hidden.
Mhm.
From kind, too.
Oh,
it
yes.
seems.
He's, like I said, he's very good at his information. I know for a fact there's Malkavians all over this city that don't reveal themselves, and he gets information from them. That's why I suspect he's using whatever that thing that links them together is, because he doesn't meet with them. I can tell you that for sure. I would know. Unfortunately, many nights I get to be a glorified secretary. And as you saw tonight, I get to usher people to and from him. Oh, we're here. I will see you another night, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Miss Pendergast,
Yes.
before we leave, I actually got a little bit of inspiration from a Kansas City restaurant. I'm not sure if it's still here. The Majestic.
I believe it's still here. Unfortunately, I don't eat much anymore. At least not at restaurants.
Well, on the third floor, you said your family was from here. On the third floor, there was something called the Pendergast Club.
That would make sense.
Does that still exist?
I'm sure it does. If the
Okay.
Majestic is still here, that would still exist. My family was one of the founding names of the city. One of the first mayors. And there was some scandal that went with it, but there's always scandal back then. But
There's always scandal now in politics.
when it first was, I was embraced here, and it wasn't a place for a young kindred to be. So I went to New Orleans. And there's almost always been a Pendergast here in Kansas somewhere. But it's time to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll see you all later. I've got other business to attend now that I'm done being secretary. No offense to you all, of course, or chauffeur, I guess, for tonight. I've got my own business to attend to. I've got to go and walk my domain for a little bit. But I'm sure we'll meet again at another time. And I wish you all a good evening.
Very well.
And
Thank
you hear
for
the
your
car doors
hospitality.
unlock.
And we get out.
Mhm.
And I will turn it over to you all once you're back in your building so that you all can discuss your meeting before we go to break.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Very
Rashad, you
different.
go ahead, Gwen.
Very different than what Chicago was.
It's a little
lot.
off-putting.
Yes. But good in a way.
Mhm.
I find him interesting. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for, I suppose. More manipulative as well.
I would definitely like to find out how our predecessors met their demise.
At the mention of manipulative from Rashad, I will let everybody roll Wit's insight. This has to be an insight roll.
Detect lies.
I mean, you can use it. I'll let everybody roll Wit's insight. Wow. Ones, and ones. Got 3 from Callum. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Gwen got 2. Oh, no, Gwen got 4. Callum got 3. Okay, we'll go with 3 and 4. You're pretty sure he wasn't deliberately manipulating you all, but you can tell his demeanor was definitely crafted to put you at ease, to make you friendlier towards him.
Makes you question how much of that kindness is a tool or his personality.
Always
Not
assume
everything
all
is a
of it.
tool. Do you intend to meet with this other fiend, Katerina?
Want to find out more about them. I'm going to have to talk to the La Sombra.
I think I might join you for that. If you don't mind, Kat.
Perfectly fine. Because I need to know if there's another one of my clan in this side of the city. Because I
Are you
won't tolerate
concerned?
competition.
I mean, you already know of one who's here, don't you?
Exactly. That's why I need to find out who they are, who they know, what they know. I'm in tight with some folks in Chicago, one of which is a Nos, that we have a good relationship. We understand each other very well. He gave me some insight. He told me that my brother had been spotted in the area here. And I trust his information. He's the sort to validate his sources. He also told me that, well, what the prince said, that the Nos here are unreliable. Don't trust them at all. Don't take them for face value. If they tell you they're tower loyal, don't believe them. Not until they prove it.
It's a good thing that the committee seems to have so many good information gatherers and contacts then.
They would have to. They're in a war.
I'm quite curious who all is in Victoria's arsenal. That gentleman she was speaking to.
Obviously one of hers.
obviously, but he's quite good at hiding in plain sight.
It is interesting that Manuel can tell who they are, though. I wonder if he can do that with what I can do.
I imagine so. That's how he can tell who Becky is.
Possibly.
I question
That
how
is
far
one powerful damn Malkavian.
I question how far the power goes. I know that I've heard that sometimes you can even tell things from auras, potentially. I wonder if he just recognizes or if he actually knows what different things mean.
I wouldn't put it past him.
There are many things you can learn if you know what to look for. I'm more concerned about this other cousin of mine.
That is concerning.
If they exist.
If they have one. I mean, it's not unheard of. But still, pretty rare.
Could it be that they're simply going to the highest bidder rather than they're actually supporting the Sapat? I mean,
It's possible. I wasn't at the family reunion, so I can't tell you exactly what went down, but you shouldn't be branching out too much. The fact that I'm here, as strange as it is, though, for there to be two of us is concerning.
They are definitely smart. The ones leading the Sabbat. They're adapting. They're using Kine as assets instead of disposable resources.
I mean, they're also using their abilities in ways I haven't really heard before either. I think Victoria said they came up through the floor.
Oh yeah. No, that.
I guess that's
seen it. Yeah, no, not new.
You're more war experienced than I am, I guess.
Not new. No. Very common in my clan, actually. But
really,
yeah,
that's terrifying.
Yeah, we could. I don't. I'm still relatively young, but there are ones of my clan that can go into the earth, become one with it, sense everything happening on it while they are one with it, and come up from it whenever they choose. I've also heard that there are some that can use other elements and not just earth, but I haven't seen that myself. My clan throughout history, from the stories my family told me, were always tied to the land and the people and the animals that were on it. That it was our charge to not just rule it, but to ensure it was preserved, protected. And my clan has lost that to a large degree. I've hoped ever since I learned about this that I might one day find it again. Because I've never felt that I was the fiend. Even in life, I knew I was not the fiend. I had dreams of a dragon sleeping under New York City. My grandmother told me not to worry about it. I knew better. It was ancient, and it was what we were.
And that's what you're seeking to become again.
Exactly.
Maybe you'll find that here.
There aren't many outside of my clan that knows about the truly dead. But if there is one of us on the other side, then I will strongly suggest that you all assume you are being listened to at all times. I don't think you all have any ways of seeing them.
I
And you
think
may
we're
not
all
want to see them if you can. Some of them do not like that.
Let them hear me. Let them come.
we probably should all.
I've hidden for 20 years. Not hiding anymore. I will try to ensure that if they come for me, it does not spill over to you. But I am not going to hide anymore. And I know my grandmother has ordered my head. It was just real convenient while I was hiding in Chicago that they could claim that they couldn't find me. It gave me time to grow, get more powerful. So let them come.
Maybe she's still hoping she can convert you, giving you time to learn more about the ways.
You
I didn't say it
haven't
was a
met
good
my
idea.
grandmother. She had my brother skin my sister because Tremere were interested in her. I ran away while she was staked, and my brother embraced me in a fit of insanity because he tried to kill me and realized, oh, whoops, Grandma has plans for her. Let me embrace her and try to fix this. And meanwhile, he threatened my children that night. So yes, I'm going to kill my brother. And let the ghost
No one
spies
fights
hear
like
me.
family.
There's a soft knock on the door to your building. But as you go to answer it, right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the break as we find out who's knocking on the door. Didn't somebody say they wanted people to knock on the door rather than beep a horn? See you in 10 minutes,
That's
everyone.
just common courtesy, y'all.
Oh, this is going to be nothing but courtesy. See you in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, this coterie had their first official meeting that wasn't just, hey, I'm in your city, with the prince, or as he calls himself, president of the HOA. So, you know, as storyteller, it's going to be tough for me to break the habit of calling him Prince all the time because that's what I'm used to. But he's the president of the HOA. Nobody likes the HOA, not even the HOA itself, apparently. But I think this Prince came off with a favorable opinion from this coterie, at least for now. A little bit of respect, I think, coming there, too. But as we left off, there was a soft knock at the door. Loud enough you could hear it, but not somebody banging on the door.
Cat will go open it.
When you open the door, there's a short Asian man standing right outside the door. He bows to you. May I come in?
Speak your name.
You can call me Hideo.
Do I recognize that name?
No.
You may enter, Hideo.
Thank you.
And she opens.
And as he comes in the door, he takes his shoes off right there by the door and walks towards the middle of the room. You notice he's in very loose clothing, made not to constrict his movements if he needs to move quickly. It's nice to meet you all. you have the pleasure of my name. I would like the pleasure of your names, please.
Katerina Riccozzi.
Honored to meet you.
Rashad Giovanni.
Honored to meet you as well, Mr. Giovanni.
Hello, I'm Gwen Schultz.
Honored to meet you, Miss Schultz.
Callum McFarlane at your service, sir.
Oh, no, I am at your service, Mr. McFarlane. I am here representing some individuals that would like to make an offer and discuss things with you. You are new here, and the ones I represent tonight would prefer you not to experience what the last group experienced that lived in this area. We would like you to work with us. It would be of your benefit. It would be of our benefit. And like all good relationships, as long as it is mutually beneficial, everyone wins.
And who exactly would we be working with?
I'm not in a position to name my benefactors. I'm sure you understand, in matters such as these, anonymity is still important.
Can I actually use Gwen's clan merit
Sure you can.
on him?
Let's see, your clan merit. It's the ministry clan merit. So long as any member of the code has spoken it, you'll find something superficial. It may relate to the individual's desire or ambition. Okay. Or it could relate to a course of action you're undertaking. Okay. It's very odd. There's a controlled politeness in this individual, almost to where this politeness it's not a mask, it's who he is. Because yours is related to a desire or ambition. For sure, his desire is to be a good servant and negotiate.
Is he breathing?
That's a very interesting question. You can roll for that.
I want to roll medicine for that.
Go ahead. What do you want to roll with it? Intelligence medicine? Since you're checking for life, it's not just breathing. You're looking for the telltale signs.
Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can do intelligence medicine for that. Anyone else wants to roll? If you think you have a good roll for it, insight might work. Investigation, awareness. If you got something you want to roll.
Surge my intelligence, and because of my generation and potency, I get 2.
Yes, when you search. Yes. You can pick whatever you think to roll that you think would be appropriate. As long as it sounds appropriate, I'll let you roll it.
I don't necessarily want to see if he's breathing. I more just want to see if there's any other information we can get on him, like who he is, who he's working for, things like that.
Okay.
Rashad would like to scry the soul on him.
There you go. Scry the soul. Wow.
Shit.
Jesus Christ, Gwen.
Fuck. Do I willpower it just to see? I'm going to willpower it just to see.
You got 7 on 8 dice.
That's enough. Jeez.
I mean,
I'm curious, though. I got to see it.
You're going to do scry the soul. For you, I need you to roll intelligence aspects, Rashad. And don't forget your rouse check, of course.
I got 4 on my medicine check on him, basically looking for signs of life while he's talking.
Yep. I'll let mine stand. I haven't seen Rashad roll yet, so I'll let mine stand with what I got. Because it's an opposed roll. Composure subterfuge versus intelligence aspects. For scry the soul.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower as well.
Okay, you can reroll
Like the
one die.
SP, it'll automatically
Yeah.
pull up for you to check.
Yep, as long as you haven't done anything else, it will. 9.
I had to go for the crit.
Your margin was only 1, Rashad. You can ask one question. It wasn't a crit either, so you get one question.
Is he under the effect of blood sorcery of any kind?
No. For Katerina, he is definitely undead.
Got it.
And what was your question again, Red?
I just want to see if there's anything else we could get on him, period. Like who he is, what he's here for, other than what he's saying.
His movements are very precise, very controlled. This man is a killer.
Okay.
A very dangerous man. But it's not how he moves that gives it away. It's how he doesn't move. Every single movement he makes is perfectly precise. Every time his eyes move are perfectly precise. Just like he's not looking any of you in the eyes, but he's looking very close without looking in your eyes. I do not expect you to trust me or my employers. But we want you to know an offer stands.
With a threat, of course.
Well, no.
That was a threat.
I beg your pardon. I did not mean to threaten you. I am not here with a mission to threaten you. I was just explaining what happened to the previous group.
Oh, we are aware.
They did not negotiate in good faith, and they paid the price.
And what exactly is up for negotiation? We just don't get killed? Is that it?
Well,
Is there
no,
more?
that would not be a negotiation. That would be threats of violence. And I have found, as have my employers, in this particular case, threats of violence do not get a good working relationship. Courtesy is very important in these matters, is to be a negotiation. I'm sure you could name what you wish, and I will bring it back to them and we can open negotiations. I'm afraid I can't let you meet with them at this point. For obvious reasons. I am chosen to be the intermediary. I will not reveal your names to them, and I will not reveal their names to you. You can consider me the negotiator. If you do not wish to answer now, I understand. It is awful rude of me to knock on your door uninvited and unannounced. I will return at another time. But think on what we can offer. And think on what you would want.
Where exactly do you stand on this? Are you just hired by them? Do you actually follow? Your messenger, but is that all?
That is a complicated subject. I am a servant, but I do not follow necessarily their views on things. But I do not necessarily follow your views on things. Many would call me neutral, but I think that is an abstraction that doesn't apply to our kind. I am in a beneficial relationship with my current employers. And I serve them as long as it is beneficial to all involved.
And what exactly do you get out of it?
That is between me and them. I do not reveal the terms
I mean, I'm awfully young, and I think I would like to learn more about how this is done. And I want to use Trust Me.
You're going to use Trust Me on him, breaking out all the shit.
This is what Gwen does.
I know. You're going to use your lore sheet. One true way, trust me. Okay, you're going to try to get him to say something. Okay. You're going to have to roll manipulation because this is a manipulation trick. And subterfuge. Well, I don't know about subterfuge. We can use subterfuge.
Okay, and then can I search on this too?
Of course you can.
Cool. I am willpowering that. Dang. Okay.
You got 4. He beat you 6 with a crit.
Darn.
I'm afraid, as I said, I have to keep all the details private. That would be discourteous were I to reveal it. Just as if you make a deal, it would be very discourteous if I reveal that to other parties. And
why? Doesn't it ensure all negotiations are fair?
No. Revealing stuff like that ensures that others will put leverage on individuals to influence the discussion and the negotiations. And that is not courteous. That is not polite. And when we're not being polite, we're being monsters. Monsters don't negotiate.
Yes, it is interesting that certain monsters have learned to negotiate.
I don't think they have. I think that is my employment, is to do it for them.
Oh.
If they were capable of negotiation, they would have no need of me. Most I've found, I think they understand negotiation. But in the end,
They don't.
the best services come from those who understand courtesy, politeness, etiquette, and the rules.
Yes. Well, thank you for the visit. You have given us much to ponder.
And I thank you for your time and allowing me the hospitality of your place.
Of course. Allow me to escort you out.
And he turns, and when he gets the door, he slips his shoes back on, and he steps out into the night. Do you watch him as he goes?
Yes.
He gets across the street. Actually gets close to that other building. And when he reaches the shadows of the other building, 1 minute he's there, and then he's just kind of not there anymore. You can't tell if he stepped into the shadows or just obfuscated by using the darkness, but he was gone. And as you're watching him, you come to realize he didn't make a sound as he was moving. No rustle of clothes, his shoes didn't make a noise.
She closes the door and turns back around, and you can see all the gears fucking turning in her head.
I would like to use Sense the Unseen to see if anything was left behind.
Very smart. Go ahead and give me your resolve aspects.
Let me see if we can do this right. Okay.
Yep. To do it right with Fantasy Grounds, you click the plus at resolve, then grab the die, or plus at aspects, grab the die at resolve and throw it in the chat window. 2.
I'll spend a point of willpower on that. Hold on.
Go ahead. You can reroll 2 of the dice. Maybe you'll get more. You got 1 10 in there, so if you get another 10. Nope. I guess your nice roll got balanced by this. Though 2 out of 6 dice, yeah, that's below average. You open yourself to the unseen, and you don't see anything. It appears you don't see anything left behind, nothing magical. No faint trails left or anything.
I don't think he left anything behind for us.
maybe if he's worried about looking into our eyes, one of us using dominate, maybe we could, next time he comes back, one of us try to plant a suggestion in his mind. Maybe our negotiation came to the conclusion that he should not come back for another 6 months. Give us a little more time.
Something tells me he's very familiar with tricks we use. He seems quite good at killing. I think that if he recognized anything like that was coming, he'd act. And I'm not sure that'd be in our best interest.
Well, it was fun. It seems you've already begun to draw attention of other people.
Storyteller, I would like to roll intelligence awareness to see if I can recall any other individuals that I've seen behave in the ways that that one did.
Okay, go ahead.
Then I still have my intelligence surged for the scene. I'll leave it at 4.
This is something you've never heard of the Sabbat giving a shit, first of all, about courtesy or pleasantness. And you've certainly never heard of them negotiating without
force.
They like the carrot and stick.
Mhm.
They eat the carrot while they beat you with the stick.
Yeah.
This is very un-Sabbat-like.
Like, it's so un-Sabbat-like, it's not even like they would have been the ones to hire him.
It's not their normal modus operandi, for sure.
I am really curious who has hired him. If it's someone from the Sabbat, this is something that's never been done.
I wonder if something's changed.
Well, they must be able to negotiate. According to my, uncle, they've worked with him before.
Typically, recruitment is kind of carrot and stick. They'll eat the carrot while they beat you with the stick.
That's not how you get powerful allies, though. Maybe they've
Yeah, but we're
been burned
nobodies
that way.
here. They don't know us
I
for...
met with Hideo personally. And he's the one that's keen on negotiations. Maybe that's the only way he'll work with them.
Might be because so many of us independents are here.
I'd like to utilize the Venture Clan merit.
Anyone in the
I was just
coalition?
reading it, and then I think we should do it on this guy. Seems
Hideo.
important.
That is a name you've heard rumors of. Not sure where he comes from or where the rumors you heard him. But from what you understand, he is a Banu Hakim. And rather than an assassin, he's an arbitrator. He is one that tries to find common grounds and negotiate on behest of anyone. If what you've heard can be believed, he is very polite. But he has killed more kindred. than most, because politeness always has a point where it ends, especially if someone breaks courtesy. So Katerina
Must
has,
have.
whoever got that has the, Katerina said she was using it, so she needs to
I'll,
share.
Yeah.
I'll just share
Yeah.
that. I'll just share that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as we remain polite and courteous, we can even just refuse the offer. He's the middleman. He's the broker.
But the terms of his deal may be to kill us if we disagree. We don't know what exactly
I'm not
is
sure
in
he
this
would
for
have
him or
taken
what.
that deal.
I think it depends on the cost.
Based on his reputation, I'm not sure he would have taken that deal.
If someone is capable of hiring someone like this person, should mean they are quite potent and effective.
Or
It may be wise
connected
to
to have
not
the
give an answer.
connections to get him.
Whoever's doing this must have backing from outside Kansas City. I don't think.
I'm going to tell you flat out, it certainly isn't going to be Becky with the good hair. The bishop,
Yeah.
they aren't going to have that kind of connections. Bishops are only they control a section. They're almost like similar to like an anarch baron. They have like a small area of a domain that the Sabbat hold, and they control all the underlings in it. I bet you that came from the archbishop, whoever that is. Because the archbishop is going to be the one who controls everything that they hold.
I would like to use premonition about this situation.
Ooh, okay.
Mm.
Here we go. Let's give me a premonition here. Do your rouse check and then resolve all specs. I love premonition in a group.
Oh wait, it should be +1. Oh well, whatever.
And your
Four.
beast speaks. Did you not feel it? You were in the presence of death. You were in the presence of something.
No different than back home. No need to worry about it.
I worry about everything. That is my job. You should be worried about everything too.
Death comes to us all eventually.
I'm not ready to die yet. And then your beast goes silent as it thinks on the words you said. 4. As your eyes glaze over, you see an old city on a river. A city where the ravens are fighting. But the ravens on both sides are bound in string. Very slight gossamer threads link all of them. As they dance the dance of fighting and death. There's no rhyme or reason to the threads. They don't match. Some of them fighting are attached to the same thing. It is just a mess of tangled knitting. There's at least 3 people pulling strings out there somewhere. Could be more. You don't even think the ones by the tangle You don't even think they know who's pulling the strings, whether they are or not. It's such a mess. And then your vision comes back to where you are.
There are players we can't see yet. 3 of them. I'm not sure if they're all on the same side or if they care about sides. But this is definitely involving someone more powerful than, what is it, you said a bishop?
Oh, Becky is a bishop. Bishops are like your supervisors, as it were. Archbishops are like your regional manager. And they kind of, the bishops report to the archbishop. Templars are above that. And there's like a whole hierarchy. Not all that dissimilar from like the way the cam works. It's just, more church-like because it's Sabbat. And they just love the irony.
We don't see who it is, but I wonder if, I imagine, Manuel or Victoria, any of them have to know something. Maybe once we gain their trust a bit, they'll tell us.
And it could be that players who think they're playing a game are playing a game they don't realize they're playing.
Do any of you have any knowledge of gossamer string or webbing? I admit my knowledge of the other clans is limited, but does that mean anything to you?
Not to me.
Could honestly mean anything. Oh, it could even mean something with the garment districts because it's strings and textiles. It's no one.
I think we should be cautious.
Regardless, yeah.
So security-wise, is this something that we should report?
I don't know if we have anything to report yet.
Other than somebody has retained the services of one like Hideo?
Yeah.
I mean, we can. I just question how much more information we could get if we wait. He'll come back with different terms, I'm guessing.
I think we should at least tell Victoria.
I leave it up to you, Callum. We could wait until we get more information and then actually give her something useful.
You don't think it's useful just knowing that
we've been approached?
Here?
I'm pretty sure it's assumed we'll get approached. If they know that the other side is trying to recruit their people, they expect we'll get approached.
He also said that he dealt with the previous coterie here. They may already know about him entirely.
Well, he also said they did not negotiate in fairness.
In good faith. Maybe they went to the president first. And that's why it wasn't in good faith. We don't know.
I think it might be better to do nothing for now.
I personally think we should ask to meet with the employer. But that's just me.
I worry we are not ready to meet with this employer.
Well, then get ready.
I think the first thing we have to do, regardless of whatever we decide to meet with this employer or not, is to shore up defenses.
Absolutely.
We know there are weaknesses here. We've been told that we can't go anywhere alone. We should probably beef up security either way.
Yeah. That's part of getting ready.
Is there anything else you think we need to do first? Other than continue to gain information, but...
Gain information. Information is the key to everything. When it comes to a war like this, information wins wars. Okay? Knowing who and what is moving is important. And where. Shoring up our security within our domain is paramount. We need to know this land. We need to know this turf. We need to know all the vulnerabilities. We need to know all the places that we can utilize to our advantage. And we need to start making connections within the domain. Because the more eyes and ears we have around the clock, the better.
I think we also probably want to make connections with Christabella and Victoria at the very least. They both have expansive networks to keep eyes and ears. And if we're trustworthy, and they say they want us to survive anyway,
right?
Additional resources they have. And I imagine the rest of the committee members as well. Just don't know anything about them yet. But they could also be useful.
But Callum, I do leave it to you. If you wish to inform Victoria that Hideo stopped by tonight, you can. Not going to tell you no.
My only thought is that sometimes individual pieces of information on their own are not valuable at all, but when added to other pieces of information.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying what I would do. But you don't have to do what I would do. You are not me. So
as long as there's no objection,
I do not object. It is your choice to make. Does anyone else object?
No.
What all are you going to tell him? Or any of them, I guess.
Tell her.
Yeah, just Victoria that Hideo stopped by and wanted to negotiate with us about working with his employer. And then the comment about, the previous coterie not working in good, not
do
negotiating
not
in
say
good faith with
coterie
them.
over the phone.
Right.
The
previous supervisors.
Yeah.
The previous supervisors.
Beneficial if you don't go to her directly, if you have an intermediary. She has the network for it, but then at least you're not known for telling. Someone else could have been eavesdropping. Then it's not linked to us as easily.
Do we know any of her contacts?
We call the line and meet with one. I'm sure she'd send one. I don't know.
Okay.
Just an idea. If it's not possible, it's not possible.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I would suggest we take the time to see if we can find any more boarded locations.
I don't have an eye for that, but I'll trust your judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to get a meeting with Christabella. Is there anyone that would like to accompany me when I have that meeting?
I think I would, but I want to also pose a potential idea. It may be beneficial for us to stop by one of the Elysias just to see who's there. Maybe Hideo's already frequenting it. With his politeness, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's a good idea.
So if we need to, well, I guess we really shouldn't split up.
No, we
Maybe
should
you
go.
can
We
meet
should
her
go in
there.
pairs
Yeah.
to different
I wouldn't mind
Elysias.
going. Well, I would not mind going to check out one or two of them. Cal, would you be interested in joining me?
Absolutely.
So is this coterie his somewhat workable plan? I think we're going to end this episode right here in the great game of vampires.
Mm-hmm.
The first step is to know the game being played. Because the last thing you want to do is play checkers when the other guy's playing chess. If nobody knows what the board is or who's playing, is anyone playing the correct game? I guess we'll find out as we progress through this story. And I'd like to thank my players and the viewers. Welcome to Kansas City, a domain divided. We don't have the Machiavellian politics of Chicago, but that don't mean Shanky's not going to give you one hell of a twisted, tore up story to try to unravel. Everyone this episode gets 2 XP. Enjoy your XP. It's going to be tight in this game. You don't get a bonus this episode. Sorry. Of course, thank you, viewers. It's a Friday night. We're going to be here next week. I'll get to the schedule in a minute. But before we get to the schedule, of course, join us on the Discord. If you're wondering where this cast came from, they came from our Discord. Everybody in the cast is a member of our Discord. We posted a casting call. These players applied. They went through the audition process because Vampire, we do auditions for. It's not like some of our other ones. And these are the ones who got to join us at the table. Some games don't do auditions, so if you're scared of auditions, that's fine. Don't apply for the Vampire. Apply for Old Gods of Appalachia. Apply for many of our other streams that don't do auditions. You'll know if there's a full audition or not. You get told that normally in the casting call. We also do Zoom Hangouts. There won't be one tonight, but I don't know, probably won't be one this weekend. We did one last weekend. I know Mama and I are wore out, and a number of this cast have got big plans because this is the weekend before Halloween. They got some shit going down. So, you know, they got things to do. So you want to catch our back episodes, go to our YouTube. So you're aware, coming soon to McStabber Studios, we will be simulcasting to YouTube and Twitch at the same time for these streams. Twitch has lifted the ban on simulcasting to 2 platforms or multiple platforms at once. And since they have done that, we will be setting up to stream to multiple platforms at once. So that if you're not comfortable watching on Twitch, you can watch on YouTube and watch us live rather than waiting for the VOD. So, hey, check that out. Something new. And if you want to see some Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, check out Ishvel's channel. That's where the great Dr. Tiss, our keeper for Call of Cthulhu. You can even see Rashad down there plays, when his schedule permits, he plays in the Call of Cthulhu game as the Victorian investigators do crazy shit. You want to see some amazing content creators? Check out our friends list. One of them right over there. Hey, look, I even pointed the correct direction this time. I'm feeling good. Check out Mischievous Red over there. She does good stuff over on her channel. She might give you insight into her character, or she might not, because guess what? She decides. It's her channel, not ours. You want to get you some studio merch? We got studio merch. At some point, we will be adding the movie posters that match this chronicle. We haven't gotten them finished yet. They take time to make.
They are almost done.
But for those that watched Windy City, the 2 movie posters that sat behind me from Windy City, we're making a Kansas City version so that we have some for this that reflects this cast and this show.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a whole collection, one of all the variants in our house of the Windy City, and we'll be adding the Kansas on top of that. So go to our merch store. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for you, the viewers, to give something to the players of the table. I'll be fair. We all love doing this. We don't do it for the money, but there's expenses that come with streaming. Even for the players, they got to get outfits. They got to get costumes. There's time investments. For the studio, there's lots of expenses, a lot of software and media rights and a lot of stuff. So if you want to give to the players, bits and donations, you want to give to the studio, that's where you go to the KoFi, you subscribe on Twitch, or if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment on the video. That drives up engagement. This month, we're making a whole $20.74 on YouTube. But every little bit adds up.
I would say that would buy dinner, but no, it won't.
Now, right now, it won't. Certainly won't at Callum's place. Callum's restaurant won't even buy one dinner for $27.
We have a family of 4. That ain't buying dinner.
No, you can get a really filling appetizer for that.
Yeah.
With no garlic.
With no garlic.
And so everyone's aware, Bo will be joining us.
Yes.
When his sire lets him leave Milwaukee, he will be joining us.
Yeah.
He will not be here next week, but you will see him week after next. So
House will be joining us.
Yes.
He's just out for 2 weeks due to other circumstances outside of games.
Kathy with a K has not let him come join the coterie here. He's in for a shock when he arrives.
Yeah.
Boy, is he in for a shock. And let's see. I think I said all my part. Yes, I did. My wife can give the schedule, and then I'll ask if anyone else is doing anything on the net, but I'll let my wife give the schedule first.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us tonight for episode 2 of our Kansas City, A Domain Divided Chronicle of season 1. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so coming up over the next week, tomorrow there is no stream because Call of Cthulhu is on break for this weekend. And then on Sunday, we have our Vampire the Masquerade Windy City After Dark rerun marathon that will pick up with the intermission between season 4 and season 5 and starting into season 5. That is when Red here and Timber Brad joined the Windy City crew. So join us Sunday at noon Eastern as we kick that off, and it'll run till approximately 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. You can have it running in the background while you do other stuff on Sunday and just, engage with it as you can.
Listen to it podcast style while you're doing stuff.
Yeah, seriously. And then on Wednesday, join myself and Shanky here with Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages. We're playing the Transylvania Chronicle. As myself, Junie Von Esch, Ravnos Archon, Maddox, and Zach Rules play very naughty vampire gods because we are elders in a time when elders truly ruled. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And then, of course, on Thursday, there's nothing because we just wrapped Old Gods of Appalachia last night. Fucking amazing game. I want to play more of it. But we will have a stream on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern when we all return for episode 3 of season 1 of Kansas City, A Domain Divided at 8 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
A brand new Chronicle, and everyone's wondering what's going on. I'd like to say it starts to make sense later. It doesn't really fully make sense till the end. I'm lying when I say that. You'll make sense of parts of it over time. Anyone else? I know Mischievous Red over there. What you got going on? I know you got other things you do. Because I know on Sunday you're streaming. I know on Sunday I've seen you streaming.
So we're actually not this streaming. We're not streaming this Sunday. We're streaming next Sunday where we're doing different creative projects. So if you're interested in that, that's typically Sundays at 5:30 Central. But we're going to Renaissance Fair this weekend, so that's not happening. But the weekend after.
Ours here closed last weekend.
Yeah.
Ours is having a huge Halloween thing, so I'm very
unfortunately,
excited.
we didn't get to go this year because with the government shutdown looming, we had to cut pretty much all.
Had to really tighten our belt.
Yeah, all of our extra expensive have had to been cut for now because we've got to make sure that, if the government shuts down and I'm no longer getting paid, that we won't, be in financial trouble. So we've just cut extra spending for now until they figure out how to make a budget. So it is what it is.
Which they still haven't done yet.
Yep.
True.
Re-rolls on Twitter. What you got going on? I know you got your own channel.
Yes. So this Sunday we are doing episode 2 or issue 2 of We Are Heroes, our superhero comic, where a bunch of players get to gain superpowers and try to help people.
Go ahead and put your channel in chat. You can put the link to it in chat. You're a member of the cast, which means you have VIP status, which means you can post links. You got anything going on the net other than this there, Callum?
Only here with you guys.
For now, we'll see.
Yeah.
You'll get the bug eventually.
Yeah,
you'll notice a lot of people do.
There is some talk of getting a mentor on the whole tech side of this and maybe running some Middle Earth for someone. But we'll see.
We'll see. I'm a big fan of Middle Earth. I've threatened to run the Iron Crown Enterprises version more than once on people, which is the Rollmaster version, which is old school as shit. But I'm old school.
Crunchy and bring lots of character sheets.
I have most of those, Shanky.
Yep.
And I use them for reference material and source material for my One Ring or Adventures of Middle Earth games.
That's what I ran back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we'll see. The tech part's not hard to learn. We'll see what, in time, maybe you'll be streaming with us too. Hell,
yeah.
We always like getting new people in there.
We love getting new storytellers to run stuff on our channel.
But as we end all these streams, everybody, mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. A lot of people are not okay, and they just need a kind word, a voice, a friendly person to help them get off the ledge that they're on and to be a guideline and a lifeline in a lot of ways to them. And if you suffer from mental health issues, the first thing I want to tell you is it's okay to not be okay. A lot of people suffer from mental health issues. And let me tell you, we're not okay. We may look it, but we're not. So reach out to your own support line. Get what you can from help you can from your friends and family. And if you don't feel you can do that, because I understand it's tough for people, in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line to help you out. And if you're not in the U.S. or you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to findahelpline.com. And with findahelpline.com, you will be able to put in your country of origin and get the help from a professional you need there. Because mental health is health, everybody. It's very important. And I'm going to turn it over to my wife so she can give the final parts of our outro before we end the stream.
As a nurse, I want to speak a moment to those out there who might be in a role of being a caregiver. Please take care of yourselves. If you're taking care of others, you've got to remember to make time to take care of yourself. Because if you don't, you will burn out. You will give and give and give until the exhaustion takes over. Please take care of yourself. And for everybody, please get your flu shots. Please get your COVID boosters. Please, you can get both at one time. You'll be knocked on your ass for a day or two, maybe 3, but you know what? You'll have it done and over with, and you'll be protected and protecting others. Now, neither shot will prevent you from actually getting the illnesses, but it greatly reduces symptoms of both, and it reduces your likelihood of being severely ill and in the hospital and having to be placed on a ventilator. So please, please, please get your shots. And make sure you are registered to vote, okay? Because the GOP legit wants to go full fucking fascist on everybody. So please make sure you're registered to vote and vote appropriately. And yes, I'm going to tell you, vote fucking blue. Vote Democrat, because fuck the GOP. We need to end them as a party, and then we can get more options on our
They
ballot.
can't even make a goddamn budget.
Nope. They finally got a speaker, but then they still ain't fucking fixed a budget yet.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and that
And
guy
TikTok,
is a piece of work.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, that guy is a piece of work.
And he's a fucking fascist. So yes, and if he's a Christo-fascist and literally a fucking hate group poster boy. So yeah,
He's a piece of work.
he's a piece of work. So yeah, fun.
Yep. And I do thank everyone for coming, and I thank my players for signing up for this roller coaster you're about to go on. I hope you're ready. This is just the beginning. Good night, everybody.